Hi everyone, today is March 12th. Time flies. The consolidation is never ending. Okay, so first we'll go through Binance version, we'll go through Bitstamp version. I have a bunch of indicators as well. We'll look into indicators as well this time and see what they're trying to say. Okay, of course, with with uh, with my TA together. Okay, so first we'll focus on 1 day. That's what we have been doing on Binance version. Now if you look at it, it's following some key levels here. Now on 1 day, what is good thing at this moment is for for the upside move is this is here, the price is here, it is making higher lows. So those who believe in upside move, they still have chance because this is making up higher lows. It started the bounce started here, bounce reached to this level, came down, a quick bounce, another attempt, failed. So there are two failures, same level, 45k range, came down, but not all the way down, came down and stopped at S7. It didn't come to this level, so that's a positive aspect. If this would have come down this one, then probably then it's not considered to be good or positive for the bull case. Now so it's here, so still there is a chance that it could go up, and that's something we had to wait and watch. Once, and what is the level now? There are two rejections. So to me, I at least need to see 43k, if not more. I would like to see 47,500. That's the technical level. To me, if this is crossed, then more than half the battle is won. Then there is like kind of a 60-70% probability that this is going to go up. Okay, so there are two steps. This is one of two confirmations, and this is two of two confirmation, which is 53k, and the most important is 47,500. So that's the technical level BTC has to achieve for it to go up. Okay, so that you can say this is our requirement. This is not our requirement, this is the requirement for all-time high, right? So it's here, and as I said, it's making higher low, which is good. What is not good is if it breaks this structure. So what you can do is, there are different levels. We can start with the innermost, and innermost level is this. Okay, so you could draw like this also. In that you connect this green and this red. If it breaks below this yellow line, you can draw locally. This is 1 day time frame. You can watch this video and draw locally, right? So basically, if it breaks below yellow, that's the first red signal, right? Alert signal. Sometimes these trend lines are tricky. I had to mute everyone. The session is being recorded. Okay, so sometimes these trend lines are not so reliable. When I say reliable, means it's fluid. That's the right word. Fluid means what? You have to adjust sometimes. Okay, it's not like it breaks one trend line, that means there is a definitive direction. But trend lines help you tracking things. Like for an example, in this case, I would draw a trend line here, and then if it breaks, then I would see if it breaks this one or not. If it breaks, then you can extend from here, in fact. And then this is more important. Why? Because now we are covering this low as well, right? So we are talking about whole entire wave here, not just this particular piece. So initially you can have this kind of a tracking, okay, monitoring like this, and then you can say, okay, I need another line which will track this, okay. And then you can widen, and then say you can draw one more line like this, you see. And this should be the last one. I mean, you can keep adding it, I'll tell you how. And that's why you can also do this, and then it gives you this. So the trend line is not going to tell you whether it's going up or down. Trend line is going to tell you whether it is moving in the right direction or not, right? So if it is able to remain above this immediate trend line, that means it's doing well. But if it keeps dropping and hitting and changing the slope of this trend line, that's a negative move from Bitcoin or any coin for that reason. Okay, so that's a little about trend line. And this is basic TA, okay, using trend line. So trend line, that's why I said trend line is important, but trend line is fluid. You have to adjust and see what is happening. Okay, so trend line is not necessarily give you the trade, but it gives you what is really happening. It's in moving in the right direction or not. So something useful. Okay, so right now, that's what I'm saying. Right now, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. However, we need at least 43K, as I mentioned earlier. Then we can say, okay, it could go for the third attempt and eventually get 47,500. That is required level. So that's my take. What we'll do, we'll look into the weekly chart on Bitstamp. This is another flavor or pattern that we are tracking. Very simple. The level is not going to be different, approximately the same, 47K, 53K, in that 47,500 more or less. Maybe I can change this as well just to sync up. Yeah, just to make sure in line. Yeah, so both of them are in line. Now, as you could see here, in the when you track daily, we talked about this structure, right? This specific structure. Now, when we talk about weekly, we are zooming out. So we have a wider structure, bigger structure to, and in that case, again the same thing. This trend line is going to help us understanding where it stands, and this midline is also going to help us understanding where it stands, right? And these are the up. This is the upper bound, lower bound. You know it, old stuff. Nothing changed. And this is a boring consolidation, very much like, kind of like since January, since starting of this year. In fact, this is the third month and BTC is still there. This structure is exactly the same or very similar to this one. If you look at it, I mean, it's not going to be exactly same, but you can relate it. There's a downturn, up move, then a down move like this one, and then up move. And here in this case there is one more dip, and who knows that it could also do the same, one more dip, and then repeat the same as this one like this and goes up. So that's why this is a scenario where this could dip like this and goes up. And so this is still a possibility, right? This is still a possibility. So I would keep this, and so this could happen, or very simple, like then it could go down all the way. What And in between there are going to be supports like this one, and each time it reaches this support, we're going to see what it's going to do, right? Because this could extend like this or this. Moving up from here, that's also possible. It's not. Point is, we don't have to track at a micro level. When we track the weekly, to me, whether the bounce from here or here or here or here, on a weekly trend point of view, it doesn't matter, because this is the whole entire range from where it could bounce, to be honest. Okay, that's why I'm not focusing more from where it will start making move on the upside. From here on, here on, here on, or here on, that's not more important. What is more important is what level it achieves, because that's what happened. It tried multiple times, but it could not reach to the required level. So from where it bounces is not so important. Where it has to reach is more important. And that's why we are focusing more on this level. We are not focusing more on the down, right? So at this moment, when I say I'm a little bearish, because it is below the dotted line, there is no, it's not preference, it's by the weightage. The pattern is consolidating below this line. It has to be somewhere here. Like for an example, when you are here, it is okay to be bearish. There is nothing wrong in being bearish. Bearish means what? You are thinking that it could go down. It's not negative thing. It's about, being with the potential direction, and there is nothing wrong about it. But when it comes to this level, then you have to change your stand and say, now this is bullish. It makes sense. Now if you stick to bearish stand, that's not good, right? Like for example, if you are here, there is no need to be bearish. But if you are here, it is okay to be bearish, because this is a critical level, so it is totally fine. But if it bounces and consolidates here, that's bullish. So all the way up to here you can be bearish, and here you can be skeptical, which is fine. You can be skeptical because this could go down, right? So there's nothing wrong in it. But if you get this kind of a candle, you have to again change the stand like this. And again, when you are here, you have to be again skeptical that why it came down here. And if it breaks below the midline, it is okay to be bearish. And but then you can say, okay, it's not giving up, it's not giving up totally, it's not going down, it is still making higher lows, right? It hasn't touched this, so that's a positive aspect. But still, its pressure is more on the downside. Why not, right? And so we'll change our stand once it is here. So we don't believe in sticking to one stand. It's not a personal preference, it is all about the weightage. So if we are going to say we are bullish as soon as BTC comes to this level, right, and stay. If it comes down again here, then we are going to be skeptical again, like this phase. But at this moment we are bearish. At this level we will be bullish, and anything over here we say we are neutral. It is so simple that you don't have to attach any emotion with this kind of a thing. And there's nothing wrong in it. So when I say bearish, doesn't mean crash. That's another thing to be understood. Bearish simply means that it is not ready to go up. Sometimes people think that bearish means crash. It's not like that. Bearish means, if you have money, for example, then it is better to wait. Not financial advice, but it's simple thing. Like if somebody says today's weather is not good, or tomorrow's weather is going to be like potential storm, so unless it is must to go outside, unless it is a requirement, you don't go outside. You can say, okay, you know what, I'll I'll wait for a day if tomorrow's weather is not good, because it's not urgent. So it's like that. You want to buy, but you will delay the buy, saying, okay, now I'll buy when when it is here, or it at least start going up. So that's the difference. So if the weather improves tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then you start, you continue with your plan. Otherwise you stay home. It makes sense, right, sir? So it's like that. It doesn't mean that you panic, right? Unless someone says your home is going to be flooded, then you have to evacuate, right, or something like this. So people think very extreme cases often, right? Bad weather means staying home. It doesn't mean evacuate. I think I'm trying my best to give an analogy here, but you guys are smart. You will understand. But sometimes the bearish means the weather is bad. It doesn't mean you have to evacuate the home, right? But if someone thinks that I lost a lot and I want to be safer, better than, because I may not have time to evacuate, then it's a choice. But I don't believe in extreme thinking that, oh, you know what, all in, oh, all out. These are extreme measures, these are extreme moves, and often those people, very, very find hard time. Unless you are very active monitoring the chart, you can still do and play. That is about timing and all, right? But not everybody can do it, right? So based on your availability of time, based on your skill set, you can decide. But my message is, when I say bearish, it doesn't mean crash. It simply means that this is the better level, because what you don't want is, when you start a trip, you don't want to abandon. I mean, you don't want to return home. You want to continue and enjoy. That's the whole idea. So when you know that there is bad weather, better to wait and then plan the trip. I think that's the simplest way I could put this. There's no easy any other easy explanation, simple explanation I could think of, right? Mm, and bullish, the same thing. Bullish means good weather, everything is nice, but there can be some kind of a some surprises going ahead, or you may start well, but later on maybe there is some major traffic jam or some accident or something where you have to detour and plan your change your trip. I mean, change your route. You never know, but that's something for future. But at least when it is bullish, it is good to go. When it is bearish, means either you have to wait or you have to take some action when you see certain critical levels are breached. So the trading, in my opinion, is not black and white picture. Okay, it transition from black to white, crossing across the gray scale, and vice versa. So black is, let's say, very much gloomy. White is everything rosy. It doesn't change from black to white and vice versa. There is transition, and there is enough time for each trader to think and plan. So that's something I wanted to convey, right? The main important thing is bearish. It doesn't mean evacuate, but everyone has to evaluate their own case and decide. So this is very important. Anyway, so coming back to the TA stuff, so this is still above orange, so that's not bad, and still it below the midline. That means it has to do more than what it is doing. This is not good enough. So this covers simple, I mean, weekly. We can have a quick look at monthly. The monthly is having a red candle. I'll hide the drawing for clarity. Sometimes it makes sense. And look at what it is trying to do right now. If you look at the right, this balance, it is here. I would like to be here on a monthly, at least the month hasn't ended. This is March 12th, so this is mid month, right? And you know the coins are crazy in terms of price movement. It changes, um, right? I mean the position very quickly. 10-15% of move would change on either side. So from purely from candle point of view, you saw this candle formation, right? But you focus on the body. Of course, you don't ignore the lows, but you focus on the body. That the body ended here. Okay, this is the closing. This is the closing, right? And this is opening. Now, this is little bit of TA that will help you. That the body of this second candle over here is closer, if not very much closer, relatively speaking, closer to the closing of the prior candle, not close to the prior candle's low. Let me repeat it. The closing of this candle in month of June is more closer to the body or the closing of the prior candle compared to the low of the prior candle. You see? So this closing is not here. My pointer, you see? And that's something positive. So this is bit of TA. For an example, look at this. This is probably definitely this is not this is definitely showing that it's going down, but this is more severe than this because this is new, not just new low, it bridged prior to prior candle as well. So this is when you see this kind of a thing, that means it's not, it doesn't want to go down. And then when it comes next month, when you see a low is also higher, and not just that, but you get a green candle like this, a monthly green candle, that means now we are not thinking about downside, right? Thinking about downside here is totally fine, potentially, but here it doesn't make sense. I mean, then there is optimism, right? So this is very simple interpretation. I hope this will help you understand. Now look at this one. It came down fine. With respect to this low, this is higher. That's one good thing. With respect to last month's candle, closed higher, not somewhere close to the low of the January low. Positive. However, we have to be cognizant and aware that this month has erased the February's gain. So this candle or the price is not somewhere here near 43k, 44 or 45k. This candle is at 39k range. So that's a bit negative. Makes sense, right? So that's why if it crosses 47,500, it would be somewhere here. And that will be positive or bullish. So when we are here, it's okay to say that whatever hard work being done here in last month is being erased. So if I'm cautious, there's nothing wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about it. But panicking at this moment is totally wrong in my opinion, because this low is still higher, as I mentioned in the weekly. Even on the monthly, this low is higher. So if you look at it, it is making higher lows. So there is no need to think about a crash, but it's okay to think, it's okay to be bearish a bit. Nothing wrong in it because it has almost erased last month's gain, right? But kind of you can say you have to be open. If it starts going up, then you can be bullish somewhere here. If it starts going down, and break, especially if it breaks from a candle point of view, it breaks monthly low. That's not good. What is monthly low? 34,324 on Bitstamp. So we can say 34K, let's say, on a monthly scale. So if it breaks 34K, that's not good. That means the pressure on this structure will increase coming days. If that happens, that also means that structure will collapse, or probability of the collapse goes up in that case if 34K is breached. It also means if this low is breached, that means it will come down here. And let me tell you, if it comes down here, what we saw here might not happen again. And that's why it is important that we track different levels. That's why it is important that we are prepared for a potential downside move all the way to 24K. And if that is also broken, it could go up to 17K. But as I said, it is a step-by-step process. You will get enough time, some time. But my assumption, my understanding is, if this structure is broken, if it comes down to this, any move after this is going to be very quick. It is like a capitulation. So the pace of the price movement is going to go up significantly if this level is broken. Simple reason being, this is 14 months of consolidation. This is not an ordinary consolidation. That's why if it continue going down like this and breaks this level, then the drop is going to be very quick and very. So to me, it will go towards the opportunity when it starts bouncing. That's why I believe in having some cash, okay, logically speaking, because I would like to buy at a lower price. So rather than buying at here. Now you may say, what if it goes up? Okay, fine. Then I mean, what can we do? We had to buy at a 47,500. So that's the decision one has to make. Either you buy here and face the downside pressure, or you wait for certain levels, right? Higher levels, and then it's more relaxing. So it's a choice, right? It's a choice. And so I think I covered this monthly chart, explain how I'm interpreting these candles. I hope this is also proven to be helpful, right? And in your decision making. um so but everything is, it nothing happens overnight unless someone ignores and very firm about very specific anyone who is very firm about specific direction, whether bull or bear, is likely to face challenge. And when you track monthly, nothing is going to happen overnight. So that's why it's very important you track weekly and monthly when it is about direction. Those who are thinking from a long term point of view, you have to think from a monthly and weekly point of view, because that's the only these are the only time frames gives you visibility, right? And some of the points I mentioned, there are many techniques. Let me tell you, there are many techniques. um, but I think each time I'm trying to share something which I find might be helpful for you, right? So you can take that. I mean, it will help you in making decisions. It's not hard. I'm telling you, it's not hard when you're open. um, so being open is not indecisive stand. It's not. So most of the people are either bullish or bearish, and I say, don't do that. Just try to be open. And open is not, it's like open to the truth, right? If you say this person is bad, you never know, that person might do something good, or maybe your perception might change after he or she does something well. So I would say you can comment on the action, but don't comment on the actor. So here you can say this is bearish or bullish, but don't become bear or bull. There is a difference between being bearish because when you are bearish, you're talking about the chart. When you say you are bear, that means you have preconceived notion or precondition that it is bearish. It's going to be bearish. There is a difference. So you talk about the chart, right? But personally, you remain open. You don't set that mindset that I am bearish or I am bullish. Don't do that. You say whether the chart is bearish or bullish. I'm telling you, if you do this, you will see the huge difference the way you trade. You always talk about chart. You don't talk about yourself. If you got this one, I'm telling you, this is going to transform the way you um, manage or plan, whether long term or short term. You always talk about the chart, because that's what I do, being a TA. What I'm saying is not about what I feel. I'm what I'm saying is what chart is telling me. So the same is true for traders or investors. Doesn't matter. It's not about what you believe. It's about what you see. Okay. So I think that's also important message, right? Let's have a look at some indicators along with the um, alt. So I think this is good enough. What I'll do, I'll end this. No, let me cover this part, indicator part, and yeah, indicator part, and then end the session, and then start the alts. I think that makes sense. What I'll do is I'll pause for a moment. I want to do something. Okay, so this is very old pitchfork that I had. I'm not sure those who are there on channel like for long. You remember I had posted this one long back, and I haven't changed it at all. And when I see this one, I find this is still effective. If you look at this one, here provided support, rejection, support, resistance, right? This is a little overshoot here and support, but this is one view. Now there are different methods. If this is broken, then it will land over here, let's say on orange, which is also point of rejection. Here you see it, and point this orange line, particular line, also supported before the breakdown here. So similarly, if it breaks below, then this is around 25k 24k level. You see that? So that makes sense from my manual TA point of view also. So this pitchfork is quite interesting, and if it continues going down, for an example, then 16 17k is somewhere here, and so on. Anyway, we are not talking that. And upside, there is a resistance from the pitchfork point of view. I think this is more relevant around 120k 100 120k level on the upside. So this is interesting. Okay, now I'll hide this. There is now I'll enable MWave. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, so we had seen this one earlier. monthly, this midline provided support, then rejected from this wave. Earlier it reached to the red, and here also touched this, supported here, supported by lower stream. I call this middle part as stream, and then white line is midstream, ms, and this red part is, I mean red line is lower stream. um, these are, this is my indicator. So I given these names are not finalized yet, so but right now this is what it is. Anyways, right now you can see this, it is not, there's no clear breakout here. So there are attempts, and supported by lower stream. So there are two supports from this indicator: 31k 600 and 27,000. So if it continues going down, then these are the two levels that particular indicator indicates on a monthly. Let's look at weekly. Weekly is also very accurate. Actually, weekly has more accuracy in here. If you look at this one, right from the here, it topped out, right? Then this is the midline, and then it broken, and since then it tried to break above this white line, which is midstream, ms. It failed to break above. There were two attempts, failed, went down, reached to this wave 2. The dark blue is wave 1, this is wave 2, right? And then it got bounced from this wave 2, entered into wave 1, which is good. It's like promotion from one to another, and then entered into midstream. If it enters into midstream, it's positive. If so, it goes below the midstream, that's negative. Then it went down, but remain on wave 2 level. So there are 7 waves in this indicator. Bollinger Band you see is just one, and you will see the difference here. This is dynamic. One first wave is breached, it opens second wave. If the second wave is breached, then opens the third wave and provides a support level, basically a range. Similarly, on the down upside, if this is broken above, it opens another wave, and then basically up to 7 levels you get the support and resistance with this particular indicator. So this is a quite unique indicator, which looks like Bollinger Band, but it has different algorithm, totally different algorithm, and very much dynamic in terms of how you interpret, and very much dynamic in terms of the support level it gives and all. Anyway, so what it's showing that once it enters the wave 1, dark blue, that's positive. Entering into the stream, light blue, is positive, but not able to break above. Then enters again. So this is again kind of bearish, right? But when it tried to enter again, that was bullish move. But you can see it couldn't settle or close about the higher level. I mean midstream level. It got rejected again. So this was third rejection, came down all the way to, but this is still positive. Why? Because this is still in the blue, the wave 2 level, right? Bottom wave 2, BW1. So this is still positive. If the BW1 level is broken, then that's not good. That means then it will drift towards this yellow 31k as from this indicator point of view. But we can clearly see how this ms level is rejecting. Very interesting. So this is one flavor. I'm trying different flavors using indicators. So first we covered my manual TA, then pitchfork that I shown to you, right? Now this is M waves. This indicator is still being tested. Okay. Then I can share more. And then I didn't record it, that particular piece, but it's okay. You guys at least saw. Next time. Um, Now I resume the recording. Spectrum is doing really well. If you look at it, rejected by these levels, rejected it. So here it's not letting it go, and here supported. So Spectrum is really doing well as well. So we saw Pitchfork, but I think for everyone's benefit, I'll reopen the Divya. So Divya, this is just for recording for point of view, because by mistaken I turned off. So this is on weekly new indicator, and yeah. So here out, in, then again out, in, again out, here in, out, in, and here out much before the drop, much before the drop, here out, and then quick in. So there's one in and out, but not much of a, here nice clean extraction of the wave. Here also one nice clean extraction. Here also nice clean extraction of the short, if someone, and also here in, but quickly realize that it is going down. So there's not much of a loss here. Here one in and out, otherwise nice clean extraction. So without indicator it's chaos in a sense. It's red and green mix of green, otherwise this is good. Here also bear market, it exits right on the top. Then there are a bunch of in and out, but not loss. Like here is no loss, the tiny loss, there's not much, no loss here, profit in fact. Here also kind of little loss, but majority profit. Here also there are four in and out for whole entire 2 years of trend. And this is, so you're out here, but again you're in here. You're out here, but again in here. So there's not much of a loss except this here. In here, yeah, I mean out, in. That's it. But yeah, more or less it's able to extract it and so on. So this is being tested. This is not tuned to, this indicator is not tuned to any particular coin. That means it could work for any coin if it is. So there is no special setting. We'll have to see. Well, I'm watching this, and so I think maybe during the call, I'll every week I'll use this for you to know what it is doing. Okay, just wanted to share. So M waves and they were, these are the two indicators being tested. Um, both are having, both for different purposes. What else? So this is it for Bitcoin. We saw, I think we looked at Bitcoin in pretty detail. Like we have covered everything. Stopping the recording and open for questions.